Okay, welcome to News from Edgemont. I am Donovan. This is a quick update on some of the local shenanigans going on in the city of Moreno Valley. We have entered silly season, and it's only going to get worse from here on out. So please stand by. One of the things I want to talk about that's very, very important is a comment in the press enterprise that was given by Christopher Baca. That comment has been erased for some reason. And I'm going to read this out because it's very interesting in what he's saying. So I'm going to read it first. I'm going to post it here so that you can see it. If you possibly need to download it or if you need a copy of it, just contact me here at this page and we're going to get that to you. But this is why I want to do the hot seat. These are the questions that we have. And before I even start reading this, Christopher Baca, we've had our problems and issues and stuff like that. This is not personal. You are invited to come on the hot seat and explain this because it's very confusing because your actions don't match your words. So, but this is Christopher Baca. This is what he wrote in the press enterprise. He says, Christopher Baca, Paris, California. And it says, the solution to Moreno Valley's problems are not more warehousing. Sometimes people are slow to see the reality of the matter going on here in Moreno Valley relevant to warehousing and Ido Benvizi's lies and bullcrap. That's what he wrote. The Idoites, my term, includes the likes of Johnny Come Lately, Evan Moron. Those two are mine too. Johnny Come Lately is attributed to Denise Fleming, and Evan Moron is Evan Moron. Many FB personalities as well as websites, and appointed do-nothing absent Mayor Yixtin Gutierrez are all cocky and believe they can say and do anything because Highland Fairview non-citizen Benvizi, keep in mind in other countries buying our local elections, are infusing $1 million. Yes, $1 million into this Moreno Valley 2016 election. After the November election, you can call me a liar. The nice picture he paints for the World Logistics Center will not be the final outcome. It will be another ugly Ontario and the truck traffic unbearable. He's already planning on selling half to another developer and wants to push a $700 million bond for infrastructure. That's why he needs a 5-0 council. Even if the WLC is built, the Aquabella project will be built as well as other housing hole in the developments. The BS reverse traffic impact theory will be negated and we will be in the same hole in the jobs to housing ratio that we've been in for years. One of the many twisted misinformation given at the hearing, similar to sketches bringing thousands of jobs to Moreno Valley. Warehousing, we have enough and they abuse the workers. I've pushed for the $15 minimum wage and regulating the warehouses, but Up Ido's caboose Fox Mayor Gutierrez won't consider because it'll be bad business for Ido. The warehousing are run by temp agencies and have had a history of workers' abuse, including immediate termination for accidents, stolen pay, required to be in line 1 hour before punching in, automatic layoff after 90 days, to name a few problems. The Democratic Party platform in June elections, he gives a link to that. I'm not going to put that up here because the same people with a different face, 360 degrees of association. So you want to see the Democratic platform, go look it up. He puts up that he's worked to overturn constitutional amendment of the Citizens United. And to sum it up, he's saying, in other words, do not vote for and do oppose any candidate who allows Highland Fairview to form a political action committee, PAC, in support of them. If you live in Assembly 61, Jose Medina's district, choices for the Democratic Central Committee, June 7th primary are Shanifa Lila, Christopher Baca, Angel Love Farouk, Jason Sandoval, Ruthie Goldcorn, and Tisa Rodriguez. Please do not vote for David Laurel Telez, Robert Harris, or Yixtin Gutierrez. A vote for them is a vote for Highland Fairview and Ido Benvizi. Robert Harris is not the founder of the Moreno Valley Jobs Coalition. In conclusion, to all Democrats, non-political preference, and others, be informed as to who you vote for this June and November. Wow. Does that sound familiar? Be informed. Do your homework. I and a lot of others have said that to everybody, which is why I started the hot seat, so that we could be informed about who these candidates really are and ask them the real questions, not just this softball stuff like, okay, just put your platform out there, everything will be okay. Now, everybody's been asking me, I mean, I got like a ton of emails when this thing broke out. I mean, my phone was just, my Google account was just full of stuff. You know, people just sending me the same thing. And I was like, wait, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? By the way, my new phone won't be here till Wednesday, but that's not going to stop me from doing my job. What do I think about this comment from Christopher Baca? A tiger does not change its stripes, nor a leopard change its spots. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's what I think about this. There's a lot of stuff that he's saying in here that a lot of people, and I came a little late to the game, but I got there, came late, that they were saying. It just, you know, we told people, do your homework. The opposition, how could you fight somebody if you don't know what they stand for and what that thing is? A lot of us were saying that the warehouses don't do this and they don't do that and they don't do that. If you're against warehouses, why would you be for this project? A lot of stuff that Chris said in regards to the warehouse, it's like, well, what do you think the WLC is going to be? You can cut it up and put it like that, but it's at the end of the day, it's still a warehouse. So it doesn't bring jobs, doesn't bring anything like this. So I just think it's kind of funny that, I'm just speculating that maybe Ito didn't want to give him and his sister the money that they might need to run an election. He gave her $157,000 last 2 years ago in the recall election, and she spent $45,000 of it. As a businessman, after spending $157,000, she lost. That means technically that was a bad investment. Would you invest in that person again? Now think about this. As of right now, Ladonna Jimson, Victoria Baca, and possibly myself are running in this district. The same three people who ran 2 years ago. Would you invest $157,000, if not more, on the same candidate that lost by 70% of the people voting? It's a business decision. And what did I tell you? My problem with Mr. Benvizi isn't the fact that he's doing what he's doing. He's a businessman. A businessman is not going to do anything unless he can make money. And the little millions that he pours into our city, the concessions that the city gives him is 10, 12, 20 times what he invested. And my job is to make sure he doesn't make a buck off of me unless I see some results that's going to benefit us as a city as a whole. And that's what I've been talking about. You can't blame a businessman for being business. Everybody's talking about, oh, we need businesses and we need this. Well, if we need businesses, why don't we start electing business people on the dais? We got teachers that don't know what they're doing. People that call themselves teachers and educators, they have no ethics, in my opinion. But that's what I think about this. I think that he's basically affirming what a lot of us were saying during the WLC wars, that this guy is a showman. He's a front man. I mean, he's a clown. He isn't what he says he is. He hasn't built anything. I mean, this is he's calling the very people that he wasn't, let's do our homework. When the WLC was passed, Victoria Baca got up as a regular citizen and said, this is a great project. It's going to bring a lot of jobs. It's going to do a lot of these great things. There's pictures of the Bacas hanging out with these Itoites now that he's going against them. And like I said, to me, it just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. I'm not saying people can't have a change of heart, but you got to show me. I mean, just saying this, and now that it's been taken down, what is that saying? So I just don't trust it. And you guys be the judge for yourself. I can't speak for you, but I just don't trust it. Now, I already voted absentee, and I'm going to tell you, Christopher Baca, Angel Love Farouk, that guy runs for everything and anybody that'll support him. Jason Sandoval, Ruthie Goldcorn, I didn't vote for those people. Because I've been talking about change. And change is not the same people over and over again with different faces. These are the same people that have been here. This is why where we're at today, in my opinion. So, and like I said, I just, maybe he knows something. Mr. Baca, I would love to have you come on the show and explain this, but of course we know you probably won't, but I still will invite you to come on the show and tell us, what do you mean about this? If you don't want to talk about the WLC and what's going on, maybe you can talk about what's going on in warehouses that most of us have already been saying. I mean, you just don't have an epiphany 2 years after the fact, or, whatever happened. This is what we're told. Do your homework. And if you're just finding this out now and you're trying to run for office, or your sister's trying to run and you're just now figuring this out, and you want to run for office and be a leader or be a representative, and you're just finding out that warehouses does not bring the money that it says it's going to do. This guy doesn't do what he's going to do. This is your own quote, Mr. Baca. Here in Moreno Valley, relevant to warehousing and Ito Benvizi's lies and bullcrap. That is what you wrote. You're talking about infusing millions of dollars. The 460s, we're going to see what that, but we already know that's coming. So you're talking about he needs a 5-0 council. Okay, it sounds like you know something. Why don't you go to the district attorney and tell us what you know? Because me, as a citizen, I happen to know that your sister got a lot of money and she didn't have a problem with it. She didn't speak up at that time. So if we were to elect you or her, what makes us think that you're not part of that 5-0 club, or she's not part of that 5-0 club? You sound like Hillary Clinton, and I'm not trying to Hillary Clinton bash, but she promotes to her audience. So to me, this sounds like a ploy that, oh yeah, I'm going to be a fighter and I'm going to do all this when I get there. But then you get there, you're going to vote for 5-0. And then as far as Yixtin Gutierrez, when he was illegally appointed, you, Mr. Baca, were the main person with him every day down at that courthouse supporting him. Now, all of a sudden, you guys have had a falling out, or maybe you guys can't control him the way that you want to control him. And now he's this big bad person. But before, you were there making sure that, he got that seat and you were very supportive of him. I mean, it's all about ethics. A leopard does not change its spots. And I don't believe you have. I don't believe Yixtin has. I don't believe your sister has. I don't believe Ito has. What I do believe is we do need new representation. And speaking of representation, Dave Marquez recently won Citizen of the Year, I believe, Volunteer of the Year. He will be running in District 4. Now, what does that mean? District 4 has Highland Fairview-backed supporter Brian Lowell in that district. Millie Bailey is in that district, and Mr. Dave Marquez now. Again, Dave has been around a long time, fellow veteran. I look forward to Dave coming on the show, telling us your platform, telling us what you would like to do in the 3rd District, and we'll see what happens there. As far as people have been sending me emails and comments asking me, why do I continually talk about Ladonna Jimson? And the thing is this, Ladonna Jimson is my representative. I have to criticize my representative because that is who represents me. So that's my job. And by me criticizing her, we're getting a lot of stuff done in the district. So you got to look at it 2 ways. Ladonna cannot be everywhere. Now, by me telling her certain things or things that we're getting stuff done, I'm still waiting for my street to get done. I'm still calling in trucks. I'm still worried about, the Box Springs water problem. There's a lot of things that still need to be done, and we need to get on it. And I'm going to stay on her as a citizen and resident because that's my job until somebody else takes that seat that is more progressive. Again, I always ask people all the time, and this is the question I have to ask you. Please tell me, what did our current representative, Ladonna Jimson, run on? A lot of things that I ran on, I did accomplish, but that's here nor there. So that's the big topic right now. is this thing of what is Chris Baca talking about? What does it mean? And all of a sudden now he has a epiphany and he wants your vote. But you should be knowledgeable about things and projects that might come to you. Wouldn't you agree with that? So that's where we're at. So the silly season's coming. So be ready. I hope somebody rises in our district. If you missed the Edgemont cleanup, it was a great event. Once again, Melissa Martinez, who is a very, very serious threat to a representative in this district in the near future. So that would be the person I would be looking out for. And I'm going to continue to talk to her about doing that and making that move, because we need progressive people that have ideas. We've been canvassing with the hot seat. It debuts on Sundays. It's going to be July 1st, the very first show. Sundays at 6 p.m. If you see a little door hanger or whatever the deal is, we've got that out there. We're canvassing. We're taking care of the district. We want everybody to come and watch the show and watch these candidates. And I've been getting a lot of great feedback about that. And I think it's going to be a great show. Before I go, I want to speak about Johnny Come Lately, Denise Fleming. I will be following up the campaign material that is going into the schools. And the reason why I'm doing that is I'm trying to help out other mayoral candidates, and I think other mayoral candidates need to use this as a point of reference to talk about Mrs. Fleming's character in a debate or in a fundraiser or whatever, because anybody that would use our children as political pawns for her desire to seek higher office isn't somebody I would want to vote for, or isn't somebody that I would want even to be in the school board. Now, if you were an employer and your employee was using your company time to get another job with another company, you would be highly upset. And to me, this is a conflict of interest, because she's using her position as a school board member to distribute her campaign materials. And it wouldn't be a problem if other candidates could do that, but they cannot, which is why I have a problem once again with Johnny Come Lately, Denise Fleming. There is a character flaw there somewhere. I reported in February, I went to a black, red, and green ball to celebrate Black History Month. It turned into a Denise Fleming fundraiser. This person has a problem distinguishing what is ethical versus what's not ethical. And if you don't believe me then, you should believe me now, because it's happening. And if this person gets elected as mayor, if you thought we had corruption before, I don't even want to think about what this lady might do. So again, before I go, Moreno Valley Animal Shelter, Miss Jimson has yet to do anything as a moratorium or anything to stop what's going on in that animal shelter, or even give us a update of what's happening. And speaking of update, there's been a recent overpayment to council members in regards to their health benefits. Now, Ladonna Jimson and George Price, they've only been on the dais for 2 years, but that's not my issue. Some people have taken a lot of money and they got to pay a lot of money back. And a rumor is Jesse Molina, he wants to pay $60 a month. And then if he is not elected mayor, he wants the debt to be forgiven altogether. I do believe that you should pay that money back, regardless if you get elected or not. If it was an underpayment, isn't it funny how if it was an underpayment, they would have caught that and said something to the cities to make sure that they're getting the right payment. But when it's an overpayment, oh, I don't know anything about it, and you don't say anything. Once again, ethics. We've got to look at these people. I mean, these are some unethical people. It just doesn't take much to make a phone call and say, hey, I think I've been overpaid here. So in regards to Ladonna Jimson, George Price communicated with his constituents about the situation and told them what he is going to do and how he's going to do it. We are still waiting here in the new District 1 to hear the explanation from our council person, Ladonna Jimson. Yeah. Same problems, different face. 360 degrees of association. This is what I've been talking about. Donovan Sadiq, News from Edgemont. This has been Update.